Alright, I'm back. I ran out of hard drive, or drive space. Where we stopped on the second signature in the last video, and I don't know what all you saw of that. Still uploading it to my computer, so it'll be a little bit before I can look at it. But we finished the 3 photo mats here, and I also put a little library pocket on the back, and we just put this little calendar from the ephemera pack, from the Tim Holtz ephemera pack there, and then I matted that picture that I love so much and put it in the pocket. That way, if they don't like the picture, they don't have to keep it. I'm sure they'll love it, whoever gets it. And then I figured just later on, when I start to embellish, we can decide what we want to do to break up that space. And that would actually be very cute there, I think. And it still allows them space to actually, maybe that's what I'll do. I like that little black bird. And it's appropriate because there's nests and eggs, so hey. Isn't that funny? I was gonna wait, but actually I am pretty pleased with the way that looked, so I'm going to go ahead and tack it down just so I don't forget. Oops. Oh, I hate when I do that. I hate when I'm too rough and I'm in the paper. Although that is really aged looking, so I don't think that that's a very big deal. So I'm just going to try to put it in the center as much as I can there. And I think that looks good. That kind of breaks up that that black space, and I think that looks nice. It's a little more to the side, but that's okay. I can always embellish it more there if I want. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're on to the 3rd signature. And by the way, this is Susan. I'm not very good. This is my first process video or whatever, so I don't tell you who I am very often. But probably if you're this deep in the video, you probably know. Okay, so we have this next one, and I'm always just trying to think of creative things to do. And this is a very well-known thing on the internet, and it's a fun little. Like a little photo interactive thing to add to an album. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to score this 3 inches on all sides. So we'll have 9 3-inch squares. So I'm just going to score it at, oh boy, that's interesting. So we got 1, 2, 3. Alright, scored at 3. Wait a minute, let me think. That'd be 4, 8, 12. Sorry, that'd be 4. Yeah, because 3 is not going to be really big enough for any photos. So I could use that for my mats. It's not a big deal. So we want to do 4. Sorry, y'all. I don't have a master plan. It's just, it is what it turns out to be, okay? And that's the reality probably for everyone. So unless you're following a really great tutorial, which this is not, that's all planned out and all packaged really nicely for you, sometimes you're just kind of playing it by ear. Okay, so I did 4. So that's the, did that skip? Did that do it right? Let me see. Let me make sure. That was one thing I read about the scoreboard, is that sometimes it's hard to score. Okay, so I think that looks pretty straight. So I just did 4-inch squares, and there's 9 of them. And I'm sure y'all have seen this. There's a lot of tutorials out there for this type of, I don't know what you would call this actually. And all we're going to do is, and we could get really creative. I don't know. We're going to see what we get here. Generally, what you like to do is, if you're going to do the 5 squares, you can see that. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah. You would cut the corners out, right? Y'all know where I'm going with this. And then you want to cut on the inside of the line so that it folds properly. You don't want to cut it a lot, but just slightly, ever so slightly past that score line, so that when you fold it, it folds nicely. And once you get it cut, you know, then you can adjust that if you need to, if it doesn't fold nicely, because you basically want these squares to fit inside this square. All right, so just ever so slightly. I guess it would be on the outside of the square line, towards the center of the square that's staying. All right, just ever so slightly. Off there without cutting into my paper. And you won't, I mean, you know, when you fold it, you'll know for sure if you got enough off there. And if you didn't, you just trim it up. It's not a big deal. And one thing when you make these, you want to think about how you're going to close it. You can use ribbon, and actually in my haul video, I did get this industrial chic bag of things. It has some fibers in it, so I'm going to take a look at those and see what we got in there. All right, so that's pretty much it there. They're just cutting it like that. And you should still be able to see, well, yeah. We won't really know until we fold it. So let's go ahead and fold it just to make sure that we got enough off. Because you really want it to sit inside the score line. You can see the score line on this one and on this one, but this one you can't see it. So I'm probably actually going to need, it might be okay. It actually might be okay. So we'll just try it. And if it's not the right size, then we'll trim it down. And basically you just fold all your little squares towards the center. Like so. And try to get them as even as possible. Alright, so that folded okay. I didn't have any problem with that. It's not exactly perfect, but that's okay. So at this point, if you want to do a tie-off closure, you're going to want to think about that now. Because when you lay your paper over it, you want to have the tie, and you can put the tie on the top, I mean, but it just depends on how you want to do it. I'm going to put mine under the paper, assuming I can find my, I thought I put it in here. I'm not seeing it. Must be in here. Sorry, y'all. Here we go. Alright, let me see if there's anything in here I can use. I think I can use that green, maybe. That's awful colorful, but we'll look at it and see what we got. Since that page is so, it doesn't have, I mean, in my opinion, there's not a lot of color going on in that page. So this may actually be a little bright. This has got a lot of strings hanging off of it, but it might work okay. Wow, that's really green, isn't it? But you know what though? It goes really well with that page. So, being that I am bold on some occasions, I might just go with that. And you know, my supplies here are kind of limited, so I'm just working with what I have. Let me see what this is going to look like. Kind of has that, you know, that grungy, aged. Oh yeah, I think I'm going to like this. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to attach it to this hinge like that. And when we cover the back of this, we're going to lay the cover over the hinge so you can't see that. And they'll be tied to the side, which will be cute. And all these strings might drive a person crazy, I don't know. And then so you'll unfold it here. You'll unfold it there. You'll unfold it here and here. And then when you're done, you just fold it back. And then tie it back. It's going to hang like that. What do y'all think? I think it's cute. We're going to go with that. Alright, so we need to put our ribbon down. And I'm probably going to cut off some of those hanger offers, all these little thingies, to the best of my ability. I like it though because it's aged looking, so I think it'll go really well with the Tim Holtz. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to try to put this in the center to the best of my ability. All right, and hopefully it will adhere to the ribbon. I'm just gonna, since I'm not interested in trying to save any of this at this current point in time, I'm just gonna do it in half and place it on there. Yeah, and that holds it fine. So I'm just gonna flip it over. And it doesn't have to be very secure at this point. You're just trying to get it on there so when you put your paper over it, it'll look really pretty. Alright. So there we go. It's going to open up like so. Alright, so we will figure out what paper we want to put on here. Boy, I like that color. I like it. It looks good. Very bold. I'm a big color person myself. So I have all this beige going on in here. I feel like I need something with a little green. Let me see. Let me see what I have in my scrap stack. Alright. Oh. It's kind of our first page, but I don't know why we couldn't do that. If we can get a different, oh no, it's not our first page, it's actually our, oh wait a minute, what page is that? Is that the one we're working on? Oh yeah, it is. So we don't want to do that. That's too much repetition in the same signature. Okay, it was a good thought. Alright. I like, how about that? I like that. It's got some of that blue in there, so I think that'll be perfect. That is one of those 6x6 sheets out of the Tim Holtz stack. So that will work perfectly. So let me get my scraps back in my bag. Alright. need to check my phone because my husband, oh boy, they're taking off late. Okay. All right, so our squares are 4 by 4, and I'm gonna cut, let me see here. What do I want to cut? I really want my ribbon to kind of shine. So I think I'm gonna cut, I kind of want to cut it smaller than I normally do. No, I'm going to go with the same method. I'm going to do 3 3/4. I think the ribbon will still show, so I think it'll be fine. 3 3/4. And I can always trim it down if I want to do that. So, yeah. I think that looks pretty. Okay. So I'll go ahead and ink my sides. There's just so many talented people out there on YouTube, I tell you. So many cool tutorials and videos. It's really amazing that we have that resource now. I say now because when I was growing up, I had encyclopedias. And I loved my encyclopedias, do not get me wrong. And I still kind of love the thought of them, but I mean, it was a little harder to figure out how to do things back in the day when I was growing up. But, okay, so we're just going to put that right down in the middle. Yeah, I'm really liking that ribbon. That was a good purchase. It was on clearance, and it wasn't very expensive. I think it was $1.99. So if that's all I get out of it, hey, that's great. All right, because I mean, I love that color. It's very vibrant, very pretty, and it'll really punch up that page. It'll give that page a lot more personality. And like I said, we're not going to put anything on the back yet. We're going to wait until we have it in our hinges. Alright, so now for the paper on the inside. I think what I'm going to do, just to simplify matters, is I am going to pick a pattern that I like. Yep, I think I'm going to pick a pattern that I like, and I'm going to be consistent with it. And I might alternate, but I'm going to do it between 2 patterns. So I will show you what I'm thinking. Sometimes it's just easier to show you than to talk about it. So I got to pick out 2 sheets. I'm not even going to think about my scraps because I need, you know, a few squares, so I don't want to be struggling with having enough. Boy, we've almost made it through the whole 12 by 12. Although I have a lot of scraps, but we have almost made it. I think I'm going to do this because I think that's a nice accent. That's a nice green tone. And then on the inside, will that go? It's kind of similar, so maybe it's too similar. You know what? I haven't used this at all. Why don't we use that? Yep, thinking that. And then, you know, if you wanted, oh, you know what, aren't there squares in here? I wonder how big they are. Oh no, those are really small. Nope, those won't work. Okay. So, I've got this in there, in that signature. Alright, well let's just, oh, you know what? This. Maybe. quite, this is the pink sheet. And I think, did I cut both of those? All right, let's see. All right, we're going to go ahead and start with this. Oh, here's the other one. Oh, that's the small square. So if I cut this, I should be able to get 3 squares out of this. Let's just see. If it doesn't work, then I can always use these for photo mats. So I am committed to using this entire stack too. So I'm just not that worried about it. You know, I should cut it smaller than 4. I should have cut it at 3/4. So we want 3 3/4. Yeah, those guidelines are very nice. Okay. 3 3/4. I've got about 10 minutes, so this will be a short video. I think I'm going to have to cut that other video in half, though. That last video was an hour. So, I say that, though, my husband just texted and said his flight was late. Actually, it's taking off in 30 minutes. They shut down the tarmac. I wonder what's going on. Oh, I hate to even think about it. Oh, I hope he's okay. I'm sure he is. Ugh. In this day and time, I tell you, I just worry so much about him traveling so much. I know. It's an interesting time we live in. I tell you, I'm subscribed to some of those. I have 1 or 2 channels that I'm subscribed to, and they basically just talk about things that happen in the news. I'm not sure it's a good thing, because I'm a thinker. I have a tendency to carry the weight of the world, I feel like. And it's like a train wreck, right? I can't stay away from them, the channels, I mean. And I know that everything that I'm going to hear on the channels are negative, but I still have to hear it. I don't know, it's really weird. But not to get y'all down, but this day and time just worries me. Alright, sorry if my head's in the way. Y'all are probably pretty used to that. Okay, so we have that. And then right now we have to be committed to the way we're folded, so I think I like that, just how we have it going. Alright, so if you have something that is directional, you'll want to make sure that you put it in the right direction. Yep, I think I'm going to do every other. We'll see how it comes out. You know, I really like the pink. I know, I'm not right. Got that pinkish 4 there. That would work. Well, I think I'm going to go with this because we haven't used it yet, so. We're flying by the seat of our pants, y'all. So, I have no idea what this is going to look like when we're done. I only have a slight vision in my mind. So I think it'll work. Alright, so that one. Did I want to do? I think it would be, no, I think I'm going to stick with the same pattern. But then I don't have, yeah, okay. I'm going to stick with the same pattern. Y'all can certainly do it differently. I'm just going to simplify it for myself because if I struggle too long over the paper, you know how I am. Alright, so I'm just going to center that to the best of my ability. And then I'm going to do that there. This is cute. It's kind of like a dictionary paper. It looks like it has, yeah, it's a dictionary paper. Alright. Okay. And really, you're going to put photos on there, right? So really the paper doesn't matter that much. Alright. Okay, and then I'm just going to, got a lot of that paper going on. Oh, I so love this paper. I think I'm going to put this in the center. I love that pattern. So 3 3/4. I tell ya, I'm just chopping this paper up too, aren't I? Now y'all know why I have so many scraps. 3 3/4. I tell you, I don't know how my husband travels so much. It would drive me nuts. I wouldn't care for it. I'm not very patient when it comes to flying, though. Even though I used to work for an airline. I just don't like the whole getting ready part. I mean, like, I'm so happy that they have security. I am so happy. And actually, if I got onto an airplane and they didn't put you through that scrutiny, I probably wouldn't be comfortable flying. But it just makes it so much harder. I just don't care to do it, you know? Just don't care to. I'd rather, it's funny because when I come to Maryland, it's about a 14-hour drive, and I drive it straight with all 3 dogs. And I would much rather do that than get on an airplane. Just because it takes you, I mean, like honestly, you'll be in the airport for you know, for 4 or 5 hours. My voice cracked. And I really like that there, but I need another piece. But I mean, so like I'm halfway through my driving trip, and I have my dogs. Because that is the primary reason I don't like to come out here. I mean, I do, but I like to have my dogs with me. All right. I like to have my babies with me. I just don't think this place is the same without them, quite honestly. I don't think any place is the same without them. I have a lot of fun with them. Alright, so that's, interestingly enough, that was perfectly 4 3/4, and I'm sorry, you probably can't see that. If you can see that, you can see that I'm working on top of a mess. Ugh. Okay, 3 3/4. See, I think my video is still going. Y'all, I think we're going to have like 25 videos. But the good news is we're at the fun part, I think. This is the fun part for me. 3 3/4. If I were watching a video, I think this would be the fun part for me too. Okay, so we got 4 squares. Oh, that reminds me of Seinfeld. 4 squares. Elaine, when she was in that stall, in that bathroom stall, and she was out of toilet paper, and she asked the woman next door for some toilet paper, and the woman said she didn't have enough or something like that, and Elaine says, I just need, I think she said 3 squares, 4 squares, I can't remember, but I just need 3 squares. And then come to find out it was one of the guy's girlfriend, I think. I love that show. That show was awesome. That's one show I could watch reruns. I think there's a fly in here. Can y'all hear that? Did you hear that little buzzing? I bet my door is open. But I think I love every episode of Seinfeld. Show about nothing. And I don't really watch TV much anymore. My gosh, I just really watch YouTube. And I just really rather see what people are making and doing out there, I guess. Alright. Oops. Kind of center it just a little bit there. Okay. That works for me. Oh, that side's so pretty too, but I'm going to go with the other side, because that is what I have already decided on. I wonder if we're about to run out of tape. That would be 3 of those rolls, which is very expensive. We gotta be getting close, I think. These rolls, for a single roll, it is $10 without a coupon. But you get 100, I want to say like 100 yards, which is more than the ATG. I think it's more than the ATG with the box with 2 rolls. I think it's, so it's kind of, I think it's kind of a better deal. I'm not exactly sure, but I remember looking at it when I was buying it thinking, oh my gosh, it's one roll $10, and I looked at the ATG and I thought, oh well, it's kind of a better deal. Unless you're getting them cheap, like me. The ATG tape, I mean. Okay, alright. So, how did we... Alright, so, I mean, really, it just doesn't matter. Oh, it kind of matters. Okay, we're going to go down, across, up, over. Okay? So there's our little interactive piece. And where is my tape? There it is. I think what I'm going to do is put the tape, instead of putting it on my signature, I'm going to put it right here. That way I don't have to worry about it showing for this particular application. And hopefully, yeah, I think it will be strong enough, because we're going to lay cardstock over while it's on the other side of it. So I think it'll be strong enough, so hopefully. We shall see. Okay. There's not a lot of science that goes into this. A lot of trial and error. And success. And like I said, if your tape doesn't come off easily, probably needs to be burnished. And just make sure to push in your tape ends if you have them like me. Don't want those things hanging over. Alright. Looks good. So all I'm going to do here, I should cut my hinge, and I'm going to cut it where it's just slightly about the same size. That still gives me a good hinge here to do something with. Whatever we put there. These scissors are really good. Give them a thumbs up. And then I'm just going to taper my edge. Okay. And I'm just going to lay it down. And it's a little off. Off meaning that the hinge is not perfectly the same length, but that's okay. And you just, at this point, when the thing that you're putting on is longer than your hinge that's cut, you just want to make a decision if you want this to be in the front or the back. And I'm going to go ahead and let this be in the front. So it's going to be easier when they open it up that it's going to be in the front. And then whatever we put here, we'll lay behind it. Okay. So I'm just kind of lining it up with my page here. And then I'm going to tack it down. Just make sure that I'm happy with where my hinge is. Okay. Yeah. That'll be different. Oops. And see, I did kind of come long here with my tape. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my finger real gently. Don't tear your paper. And I'm just going to roll it off the edge. See how I did that? I just rolled it. I couldn't have foreseen that, y'all. I mean, I probably could have, but I didn't. Alright, so there we go. Now I'm going to double check to make sure that that tape is not going to bother me, because I'm going to lay paper over it and I'm going to do it tight. So, and what paper do I want to use? I think I will stick with, I mean, at this point it really doesn't matter because it's in a whole different world over here. So I think I'm going to go with something that got the R there. I could look at my scraps and see what I have. Yeah. It's just a little bit white, but I think I'm going to go with it. Oh, that is my favorite paper. Maybe I should just stick with that, huh? Yeah. So what if it repeats in every signature? I really like it a lot. And that's all that matters. It's what Susan likes. Because this is Susan's book. Until Susan gives it away. Oh, I cut that way wrong. 3 3/4. 3 3/4. Alright. Yeah. I like it. Alright, so I wonder if I'm wearing y'all out. I don't know. This is a lot. Oh, I did it again. Oh. You know, when that happens, I think that happens when you start getting low on tape. It's just not as easy to roll it on where the paper gets kind of bent. So that could be what we're dealing with. Alright. And ideally I want to, you know, and I didn't really think about my hinge as much. So I'm not going to waste this. I'm just going to pop it on some black cardstock because I will use it for a photo mat somewhere else. Alright, so it's not wasted. The reason why I actually want this to be a little bigger. I want to make sure that I cover this hinge here and this glue. So I want to make it kind of tight. So I don't know if I have another piece of that that's going to be big enough. Oh, you know what? Oh man, that almost... Hey, I like that. And that's that 6x6 sheet again. So it's definitely kind of handy having that. And I am going to do this where I got the brown and not so much of the... Oh, the tag is really cute. Okay. The 3 and 3... No. We want it to actually be a little longer. So I'm going to measure, if I can find my ruler. Four. So that's really close to 4. So I think, I don't know, technically 4. I'm going to do the little, it's going to be after 3 and 3/4. I'm going to go 7/8. I'm going to try that. I hope that's enough. I might come to between the 4 and then the 7/8 because I just want it to be long enough. You can always trim it if it's too long. And actually, we really want it to go this way, don't we? Yeah, that's actually good. Oh, excuse me, I have sniffles. I tell you, the older I get, the more sinus problems I have. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go with that right there. So we just need 4 and 3/4 off that. Or 3 and 3/4. Yeah, I believe that's right. Yeah, 3 and 3/4. That's the way. Alright. Okay. I'm good with that. I just need to get that glue a little bit more out of there. And this right here, just want to kind of tuck it in there. Sorry, my head's in the way again, I'm sure of it. I'm just kind of getting that glue out of my corner there. I'd rather worry about it now before I put the paper on there. Okay. Alright. Well, that's kind of different. Oh, I got it. Because usually you see it on the paper, you know, like on the page itself. And maybe other, you know, I don't know how different it is. But it will be interesting. You see why I went with 4 pages versus 6? The 6 would kill you. Gosh, if y'all had to sit through 6 of these, y'all would just, I don't think y'all would watch the rest of my videos. I mean, it's a lot. I sometimes have a habit of biting off more than I really want to chew, you know, because that Couture album, I mean, I had a lot of fun doing it, but I did 6 pages and it was like, by the time I got done, I was so exhausted. It was so much work. All right. There we go. So that is done. And I think I'm going to cut the video off here because I think it's going to be pretty long. But there you go. There's your... and this is going to lay to the back. We're going to put something back here. But here is your little interactive mini photo album, whatever you want to call that. I'm just going to cut some of that green stuff off there. And then you can just tie it. Like that. Do a bow. I'm not very good at bows, but I don't think the bow has to be perfect with this ribbon. There. Can leave it long. Just I kind of like it long. And I do realize it's all wrinkled up, but like I said, that's not really bothering me, since it's kind of messy looking anyway. It kind of adds to the charm. I don't know. What do y'all think? It gives it a punch of color, and it's still going to close. Ooh, tight though, but it will close. I say tight, it's not really that tight. Yeah, so you don't want to do too many of those. Even though this is pretty forgiving, it will still lay flat. And that's why we have a nice gusset. So that's that. And then we'll add something here on the next video, and we'll be just about done to where we can actually start embellishing, like really embellishing, like putting little embellishments on here. And I haven't decided if we're going to embellish heavy or light, so no telling. So that's what it looks like so far. Alright, you guys have a great day. I'm probably not going to record any more today. I think I put 5 videos out there this weekend, so that's probably enough for now. Probably will work on it again tomorrow. You guys have a great night. Talk to you later. Bye.